Hey folks, Craig Lavati here with the Houston Museum of Natural Science and the Beyond Bones podcast. For this episode, me, Johnny, and Kat are talking about some coming attractions headed to the museum this fall and some things you should look out for. It's good stuff, I promise. Howdy folks, Craig Lavati here with the Houston Museum of Natural Science and the Beyond Bones podcast. This episode, as always, I'm joined by my amazing and talented and much smarter than me co-host, Kat Havens.
Aw, thanks, Craig. Hi, how you doing?
And quietly off in the corner is Johnny Himberger, producer Johnny, the man behind the boards, which is really just the Zoom thing and the recorder. And but he does a lot of other amazing stuff for the podcast too. And he is a podcaster in his own right and a media mogul. Because I know media moguls when I see them because I am. So
he does a lot for me too behind the scenes to make things go for a lot of other stuff. And then you may hear his young son Riker in the background kind of going ooh ah, or make these people shut up.
He's the co-producer. But before we started the podcast, you were doing that pencil sharpener, perked up and all around.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I have to mention,
guys, I use pencils.
I do too. I am obsessed with pencils. That's what I write with. But Riker, like, is in Riker mount, like, as in museum displays. That's pretty cool. It's a great name.
Well, do you know where else it comes from?
I don't.
Maybe knowing.
I suspect a movie.
You have to know that.
I don't. Is it pop culture?
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about Riker, the name Riker. Think about it.
I'll give you a hint. Space.
Buck Rogers? You're
going to feel silly once you remember it.
Okay, what is it?
Star Trek.
Which one?
Next Generation.
Jonathan
Oh,
Frakes.
Next Generation. Oh, I remember now. Oh my God, that's cool. Yeah, that was the one I actually liked of the Star Trek.
He's better known as the guy from the Believe It or Not episodes where it's just like, it's a fabrication, totally untrue. There we go. Anyway, that's what's going on. This episode we don't have a guest. But we are going to be talking a little bit about some of the coming attractions at the museum. Just think of this as a 30-minute what's poppin' at the old Science Hole episode.
Science Hole.
We don't have anybody this week. Our guest, we will have that guest rescheduled for a few weeks from now. So I'll just say off the top of my head, I know we have an amazing slate of guests coming up on the Beyond Bones podcast. We're inching closer, hopefully, to eventually being in studio, in-house, all together somewhere. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for that, so we can actually see each other in person. The slate of the episodes we have coming up, I'm trying to line up somebody from Cambrian Coffee. And it's this really cool coffee house, brand new coffee house. They opened up during a pandemic, so you got to give them props for that. Cambrian Coffee is in Spring Branch, and it's run by a couple, husband and wife team, and it's got a giant T-Rex mural on the outside, so it's already checks off a lot of boxes for you guys. It has great coffee, great homemade kolaches that checks off a few boxes for me. And everything inside is decorated with trilobites and geologic timescales. So when you take your family there, you're learning something. It's almost like,
and it's in my neighborhood.
And it's like a tiny HMNS almost.
In my neighborhood. I need a science hole near my house.
So we're going to have those folks on in a few weeks here talking about, why they opened up a coffee shop in the middle of the pandemic and how they're doing. It's funny. The first time I ever visited was a few weeks ago, and I walked in. I saw Sam Stubbs, Mr. Trilobite, the man that donated all the trilobites we have in the Paleo Hall. So that was a good omen for the place. Also, they're really nice people. Later on down the line, we're going to have a few professionals from the B-Cycle group. And if you don't know anything about that, Houston B-Cycle is this really cool program in the city of Houston where you can rent a bike for about 30 or 40 minutes to, get to and fro places. It works really well when the weather's nice in town. So we're going to talk to them about just, mobility in Houston. And, I always tell people, if you really want to beat traffic or you want to, not have to deal with our parking lot, you could ride your bike to the museum and be safe about it. There we go. And then I'm also trying to grab Sam Stubbs. Obviously, we're going to talk to Sam in a few weeks here about trilobites. Mr. Trilobite's going to be here. And I'm also looking to grab somebody from the Astronome Conservancy. Ooh. If you guys know what that is, it's this little grassroots group that is trying to figure out a way to reuse the old Astronome down the street from the museum. And you also see I have my seats directly from the Astronome, and I'm not going to do it today, but I also have an Astronome tattoo in the back of my leg because why wouldn't I?
When did you get that one?
Years ago.
Okay.
Years ago. Yeah, I always. So that means I can probably never go see a game at Dodger Stadium wearing shorts.
Can I sit in those seats? Are they sittable?
Yeah, they are. They are sittable. Yeah, they have.
Okay, you need to invite me over so I can sit in them.
I should donate them to the museum, right?
Maybe
people can have the photo things. I'll donate. You can have them, and then you donate them to the museum.
Oh, okay. I like that. I get to be the good guy who gives things to the museum. Take it.
And so yeah, that's what we got going on the podcast. Kat, what's going on in your neck of the woods at HMNS?
In education, well, we're getting into the last part of summer camp, 11 weeks of fun. We are in week 10. So next week is our last week of doing summer camp, scouts, virtual camps. It's almost back to school time. So we're ramping up all kinds of good things with our educators, especially our educator members that we have. We have special
now, if you're
memberships.
An educator, you have so many perks when it comes to the museum if you have a membership.
Yeah, additional perks that are specific to educators, which is cool.
You can come to the museum. There's all kinds of cool discounts. You can take classes. You can get away from the classroom for a few hours. Obviously, we like you to do that. And I've also heard a lot of teachers, and I think you even said this before, Kat, that teachers get really cool ideas of how to explain certain subjects to their classes when they come to the museum, and they explore for themselves. Yeah,
the museum is a really kind of unique jumping or diving board, for lack of a better term, to kind of explain it into all kinds of things, just across the curriculum, from math to science to history, design, engineering, all kinds of stuff. And we'll talk a little bit in a minute about a really cool video with that. It relates to engineering and some kind of old video game that I know you guys are excited about.
Kicking it over to Johnny.
Yeah.
So Johnny made this really cool video for our YouTube channel, and Johnny is the maestro behind the YouTube channel. He's the one that makes everything pop on there. And so if you're not already subscribed, like and subscribe.
And share.
And share.
Yeah.
So Johnny earlier this week released a really cool video about he made a Game Boy be a solar powered Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
And that's the man loves solar power. The man loves solar power.
Yeah. So first, that noise in the background wasn't a parrot. It's my son. He sees my cat and he's just going nuts about it.
That's so cute.
Walking out of the room. But yeah, the solar powered Game Boy Pocket, to be specific, that came out in 1996. I've just been on this solar kick ever since the museum hired me on. Back during the ice storm is when I first started at the museum. And I've had this idea for years about adding a solar panel to a Game Boy. And I scoured the web, and there's been a couple little attempts here and there, whatever, but nothing as integrated and nothing as kind of high tech as what I've got going on in this Game Boy. And for those of you, I might have piqued some of your interest, the general audience listening or watching. Oh, I remember Game Boys from the 90s and stuff.
I remember them.
Oh yeah, but the community, the modding community, among gamers, is huge. Yeah. So this is kind of the first Game Boy with such an integrated, functional solar panel and lithium batteries and brand new, 21st century screen. If you remember those old Game Boys, hunting for the light, sitting in the back of the station wagon as lights go by, trying to get light.
Trying to find someone to light you up. So it's not
and the battery, it had 8 batteries, just like a fiend. I remember my dad hated that. He was like, I'm glad we got you. My dad still is the keeper of the batteries in the household. And I remember being little.
Going through batteries.
It was I would always Dad, and he's like, the Game Boy? Yes.
All I played was Tetris. That's the only game I played. Yeah. And I would play so long, which I'm not a game person. And I would go to bed and I would see pieces falling, and it was nauseating actually after a while.
Absolutely.
Like, make it stop.
And a little TMI. So you didn't get TMI.
Good. I was like, oh no, what did I do?
No. I'm about to give some TMI here.
Good.
So I've got a collection of Game Boys in various states of modification, but I also make sure to keep a few completely original, untouched, original Game Boys to remember how far we've come, basically. So I've got one of those old giant gray bricks with the green pukey baby screen.
That's what I had.
Yeah. And so the TMI is that I have it in the bathroom attached to my office.
It's for the throne.
Exactly. And you know what's in there? Tetris.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's a great game that I wasn't particularly good at, but it would cause like absolute panic in my soul. Like, as it slowly, like one thing went wrong and then it would just, and my blood pressure would go up. I'd probably have a stroke now playing it.
Oh,
Tetris showed me when I was little that I was very OCD and I like to have things just organized just the exact same way. Like that kind of design was strange. So it still wreaks havoc on me. And I agree with you that I would have dreams where I would just hear the music and it
would just fall in front of your closed eyes.
Yeah. and there's still global tournaments, world championship tournaments in Tetris. And these guys and gals do things like we play Tetris the way us casuals play Tetris. One piece would go wrong on the toilet. Yeah. One piece would fall wrong, so to speak, wink, wink, and it would throw everything off.
Yep.
But you watch these Tetris champions, like the bricks are falling so fast. You can't follow our casual eyes with it. Like, how are these guys doing this? It's impossible.
Must be muscle memory, and there must be some sort of algorithm to the way they fall.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's probably a lot like the Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah.
Championship.
Oh, man. You should see the eco teams and some of the TAs here with the Rubik's Cubes. They're like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I used to just take the stickers off and rearrange them. Because that's but I think it's a clever way.
Smarter. The smarter way. Yeah.
Smarter, not harder. I got the job done.
And just leave it on your desk complete.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing that gets you, like, if they have that in a job interview, you get hired. If you just change the stickers, they're like, okay, we like the way you think.
I like the way you think.
You're cutting corners. Everything's the same. So we got that really cool video up on the YouTube channel, along with some other really cool videos that Johnny's made. You can check out some of our older videos. See how far see all of our catalog episodes.
We've got such great videos too, and
we really do.
I'm going to pull it back away from you two and your video game boy talk. I know there's girls that like it. No, you're good. Just from the videos and the things that we have that we were talking a little bit about back to school, right? And educator members, we have so much material that's useful to teachers on our Facebook, on our YouTube, all kinds of little short lessons from HMNS at home. There's just so many resources that the museum has that, even homeschool parents, classroom teachers, whoever, just parents in general, whoever's interested in educating can make good use of, for sure.
Absolutely. And one of the taglines I've started to use for our YouTube channel is, like and subscribe and share and all that kind of stuff. But it's like subscribe, explore, share, because we have so much. Whatever your curiosity is, odds are if you click on the YouTube channel and go through our content, you'll find something pertinent to your interest. And especially like you mentioned with teachers and educators, there's a ton of good stuff on there to use. So.
And a lot of the stuff that we did, like legitimately, we had to figure out how to do cool, fun hands-on activity with what we had at home with no coming to get supplies because of lockdown. And so you can do it with dirt and paper and like really simple stuff, but still super engaging and just there's just so many things.
And not to be a wet blanket on that too, but also with the Delta variant things going on right now, I know a lot of you guys are probably reticent to come to the museum. You can always watch stuff on YouTube if you'd like. That works. Obviously, you're still supporting the museum that way. It's just a really good all around, and you get to see a bunch of videos with me making stupid faces. And
your videos are great.
And talking to professionals from around the museum, people that are have a lot more brain power than I do, at least right now.
And we also have virtual teacher workshops coming up that are free for educator members, and you can sign up for even if you're not an educator member, which you should be. But so that's another way you can come participate in the museum without necessarily having to be here physically. There's still those opportunities if you want them. So that's pretty cool.
And there's some exhibit walkthroughs, like Craig, you just did the walk of Pompeii to kind of wet people's whistle to come to the museum, but also give them a good taste if they can't come to the museum. Or
the adult version of that was fun too.
You know, what's funny about Pompeii is it opened up the weekend of the freeze. Mm-hmm. And so it was like we were up against that. So I remember, because I'm in the marketing side, and so I remember it was the promoting of that. I was like, all right, it's going to be a cool weekend. Oh, we're all going to freeze to death. So then and obviously, and I had this written down too, Pompeii is leaving us on September 6th.
Oh, that quick.
And if you know anything about Pompeii, you know, it's a really big section up there, and Death by Natural Causes is already closed. And so Death is gone. Pompeii is about to leave in about a month or so, because that whole area over there, guys, is going to be a really big, brand new traveling exhibition that's coming. And I can't say anything about it. You can Google about it, I'm sure.
When do we get to find out? When do we get to find out?
Next week.
Awesome.
August 12th. That's when that comes out. I'm
having a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
All I can say is old and gold. Take from that what you will.
Mr. T.
If you watch the episode with Tom Hardwick, our Egypt Hall curator, there may be some hints in there too. Go check that one out. But like I said, that whole area over there is going to change over the next few months. It's going to be really amazing. The Egypt Hall is reopening at the same time, and that is going to be just magnifique from what I understand. If I could use some French words there. So
some made
I'm really
up word,
excited about
Craig.
that. But you can look at a Pompeii walkthrough over there on the YouTube channel. Also, September 6th is the last day for Victoria, the T-Rex, the T-Rex that has just captured the hearts of little children all across Houston since she landed. She was a big part of T-Rex Week. She won the T-Rex Throwdown, I believe. And we've had just so much good feedback from Victoria. Somebody asked on Facebook, they're like, "Where's she going? What's she doing?" And it's like, well, she's a traveling exhibition. They don't just stay here in Houston. They have to go and explore. She has to go, she goes to another city and she wows kids there too. So Victoria and Pompeii are both leaving. And then the week after that, we finally say goodbye to Body Worlds, both floors of Body Worlds. So
everybody's leaving.
Is the last, but here's the thing: but it also means that we have a lot of really cool stuff coming down the line. I will say, from a marketing perspective, I'm super stoked to be able to show off some of this stuff for you guys. It's going to be really cool.
I have an old and gold comment that's going to get me in trouble.
Don't say anything.
Oh, come on.
You can't. No. I don't want to get in trouble.
No. I said old and gold, like Joel in the gold exhibit. He's old, and we had a gold exhibit.
We can't say that.
Gold and gold.
We do have a gold and Jade exhibition opening up on September 17th.
Oh, we do? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that. Nope. In the Brown Gallery. It's in the Brown Gallery. But that's not connected to what I was talking about.
No. I was just making a Joel joke, because usually you get to.
You have to. Mm-hmm. We have to. It's to test if he's actually watching the podcast. So those things are all leaving. And it's just, but right now, especially if you're not in school, if you're one of those adults like us that you don't work at the museum, so you don't have to be at the museum all the time. Right now, like late summer, early fall, when all of the school kids go back, in school goes back in session, it's quiet. It's a little bit easier to get around during the weeks here. So if you have been wanting to play hooky, call in sick, don't shuffle to your work from home station, in your living room. You can come to the museum late summer, early fall, and get some museum time in. Yeah. It's a little less busy, a little less hectic. Camp will be over by then, and the museum is yours. until
it's nice. I love the fall in the museum, even though we like to have more people, but I love it when it's kind of quiet.
And also September is going to be it's Member Appreciation Month.
Oh,
and
that's right.
So check that out. We're going to have a lot of programming related to that. So right now it's as good a time as ever to get a membership to the museum. If you don't already have one, what's wrong with you? You need one. And because we have a lot of stuff, like I said, a lot of stuff coming in, holiday time.
A lot of really cool stuff that people don't know about too, like pajama party that we have from our education department. Yeah. Every Wednesday at 6:30, you can tune in with your kids, and an educator from the museum will read your kid a story and do a little science activity. It's like 30 minutes or so. That
do kids still go to sleep that early?
Well, I mean,
it's a
younger kids
pajama party.
Well, 6:30, and then it's over at 7. Then you can brush your teeth, and then by 8, you have kids in bed 8, 9 o'clock. Sure, not my kid. My kid always stayed up like midnight.
Yeah, I was one of those bad kids that was awake until like MASH came on at midnight.
She just had to stay in her room. That was the only rule. You can't make them sleep.
So there's just a lot of really cool. I mean, like I said, it goes back to the membership thing. There's tons of really cool perks for members. If we sound like this is a commercial, it is a commercial.
Well, we're
trying to get you to buy memberships. There's so much. Well,
there's also so much stuff people don't know about too, because there's just so many opportunities. I think some of the stuff people are missing out on that, if they knew about, they'd be super excited.
So we have that going on, and then closer in the calendar, if you've already gotten this far on the episode, we're also doing another Mixers and Elixirs on August 13th. That's Friday. Let's see, today's Wednesday. That's next Friday. So that's Friday, August 13th. This is our second mixer back after obviously being dormant for 2020. I saw video from the last mixer last month. It looked like a lot of fun. Everybody was having a good time. People are glad to be back at the museum. Obviously, if you want to wear a mask, you're more than welcome to. We appreciate that if you do. If you're not vaccinated or you are vaccinated, but we're excited to have people back at the museum, especially for mixers. And we are doing a Halloween version of mixers. Spirits and Skeletons?
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yes, we're doing that October 30th, I believe. So it's one of the biggest Halloween parties in the city, actually. It's
people come with great costumes too, like really cool.
The costumes are like cosplay Hollywood level. Some of you guys go all out, and I love looking at pictures from past years. And and there's always a lot of because we have a lot of cute couples that come to the museum. You guys know who you are. Like, you're the ones that dress up as like, the boyfriend dresses up like a beaker, and the girlfriend dresses up as, a
burning hot acid.
Yeah. Or there's like a toucan and, the box of Fruit Loops. All this, whatever. You guys really do. And there's a lot of really cool science related costumes too. So everybody brings their A game. So we're hoping that's going to be a really cool event in October, obviously. And it's the next few months at the museum are going to be hectic, but a lot of fun. And we have some really cool stuff coming up in 2022 that let me open up this spreadsheet, and then I'm just going to look at the spreadsheet and go ooh and ah, and you guys don't know what's even happening.
We have STEM Nova coming up for Scouts in October. Our overnight's on October 1st, and the daytime event is on the 2nd. That's a really big thing in the scouting community. It's online if you want to check that out.
We love our scout groups too at the museum.
We do.
We love
big scout program.
I'm looking at the schedule for 2022, and it's just really amazing. I wish I could tell you guys what's going on, but I can't. I've been sworn to secrecy.
That's so manipulative, Craig.
I'll get beat up if I bring any of that stuff up by many people on the second floor of the museum.
I won't let them beat you up.
So that's what we got going on. Like I said, this episode was kind of just like a house cleaning episode. We wanted to get you guys up to speed on everything going on at the museum. Like I said, Victoria and Pompeii both leaving on September 6th. After that, they're gone.
I'm going to plug me
Body Worlds
too.
Is leaving. Yes, go ahead.
I have a skeletal trauma class for our CSI Houston coming up in September.
That's yours. Okay.
That's mine. I'm doing osteology tomorrow, but I think it might be too late for that. But skeletal trauma is coming up, and it's going to be lit. I'm trying to use young people words.
It's going to be off the chain.
Off the chain is lit, like not used anymore.
going to say there's also things with, I guess, like scalorific.
Scalorific. That's right.
You can, that's copyrighted. You can have that.
Scaloricious.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. This was a short episode. Like I said, just house cleaning, making sure you guys were aware and up to speed on everything going on at the museum. As always, we thank you for your patronage over the past year. It's been amazing seeing you guys come back. Everybody's being safe, everybody's happy, and hearing the museum alive with, you know, kids and stuff is a very special thing right now. It's good. So thank you, Kat. Thank you,
You're
Johnny.
welcome.
You got it.
And thank you, Craig Lavati for.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and next week, back to regular business.
Bye, guys.